right, hello you guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Megan Jane, and I am an artist, a teacher, a yogi, among many other things. And yeah, I finally decided to start a YouTube channel. I wanted to do this for a long time, but I feel like I'm finally just at a place with myself where I'm more open to being seen and like overcoming the cringe that comes with posting videos and sharing your art online. But yeah, I thought there would be no better place to start than sharing about what I've been making in art therapy recently. Art therapy is actually something new to me, which is very surprising because I've done a lot of healing work for like 7 years. So like therapy and like somatics and girl, like everything under the sun, trust and believe. I've done it, Reiki, yoga, like girl, everything I have tried. So I've done a lot of that, and then I've obviously done a lot of art as an artist, but two pillars of my life, art and therapy. Art therapy, it was a marriage made in heaven. I instantly fell in love with it, and yeah, I'm excited to share with you what I've made. I do want to give a quick intro to art therapy in case you don't know what that is, or like you're interested but want to hear more. Art therapy is so cool and so fascinating and like transformative and magical. And I think that's because even if there's no prompting, because you'll see in the video, like I'll explain what the prompts for each page were in the workshop that I did. But even if there's no prompting, so you're just making art intuitively, no plan, no preconceived idea, no design, it is fascinating what comes out of you, especially if there's a time limit and you don't have time to like sit and be like, oh, what do I want to do? Like you just go with whatever you feel or whatever you think, like whatever comes to the surface. I think that's the healing work, is it's very revealing what comes up. Like there's a reason why you're drawn to certain colors, or there's a reason why you might gravitate towards markers instead of watercolor. Or even like the elements of art or like the principles of design, like are your lines thick or thin? Are they chaotic or do they have order? Is the page weighted more on one side than another? Is it balanced? Like there's so much that you can like analyze about the artwork. And that's what's so fascinating too, is that, and my yogis will understand this, the body knows how to heal itself. And so if you give yourself the opportunity to sit and, again, no pressure, no plans, you just allow yourself the curiosity to see what comes out of you, your body will create whatever it needs to create to heal yourself. So whatever your soul needs to express in that moment, it's going to do that, whether you're conscious of it or not. And what's so interesting is that your body will make, and your subconscious mind will create, but then your conscious mind will interpret. So you can make something and not really know like why you're making it or like the meaning or significance behind it, but then afterward you can like derive meaning from it, because like I said, it's connected. Like you're not just making things for no reason. Like even though it seems like that, like it's thoughtless, oh, if this is a random mark, is it? Like it is, but is it? It's so cool, you guys, to see what you create, to see what comes up, to see what meaning you derive from it. Because I guess one could argue, yeah, like maybe inherently it doesn't have meaning. Maybe it really is just an abstract piece of art, but it's still very revealing and telling the meaning that you interpret from it. You know what I mean? Either way, you're getting the same result. You're getting a deeper understanding of yourself. You're identifying and processing emotions. even just to make art, even just to create something in and of itself, period, is healing. So I think just like having the experience of making the art mixed with the meaning and intention and depth that can come from like analyzing it and like deriving the meaning from it, it just does it for me, you guys. And I hope that, yeah, you see the magic of it and like the weight of it, because yeah, we're making art and like that's fun and cool, and like I feel like some people would think it's like frivolous or just like, okay, like yeah, you're making art, but it's like so much deeper than that and so much cooler than that and so much more meaningful and beautiful than that. So I hope that you enjoy this video and you getting to see my art and hearing my explanations of everything. And I'll definitely be making more videos in the future. So like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, so let's get started. This is my journal. I've not decorated it yet. Typically, it would look something more like this or like this. Let me know if you guys would like a journal tour. These are all filled with art and otherwise, like with obviously journaling. I don't actually journal anymore. I journaled every day for 5 years, and I realized that it was no longer serving me because I was kind of like documenting my life instead of living it. And now I feel like I'm living so much more authentically that I actually don't feel the need to write everything down anymore. So that's part of the journey and like how art therapy has actually come into my life, is I was ready to just like express myself and like enjoy making art rather than feeling like I had to document everything or like analyze everything and write it down. I could do a whole video about that, but let's just get into this so we stay on topic. Okay, here is the first page. These first 4 pages were all a part of the same series. It was one day that we did in an art therapy workshop where we had 6 minutes, I believe, for each page, and I'll explain the prompt to you. So this first page, we were instructed to draw a river. And so again, very vague. She just says, draw a river, and then asked the question, how are you going to get over the river? Initially, my thought process was, oh, I'll just jump over the whole river in like one go. I'll just do like a giant jump across the whole thing. But then she was like, I don't know, she said it was wide, and I was like, okay, I guess I should probably like put something to like help me get across. So that's why I put the stepping stones to help me. It was revealed at the end of the workshop. It was so funny. She asked, did you realize that you could ask for help? Like, did it occur to anyone that you could ask for help? And I was like, oh my God, no. Like I feel like that tracks so much, like from me initially wanting to jump over the whole river by myself, like bypass everything. I feel like that was just a really good read of like how like hyper independent I am. And no, it never even crossed my mind that I could get help. However, stepping stones, I would argue, are a form of help. So I guess I did end up getting assistance, but this was obviously about how you approach problems in life and like problem solving. This next one was, she was saying that you're going through this forest, you pass the river, and you approach an animal. And what do you do when you approach the animal? So part of the challenge for me in this was that I wanted to really listen to my intuition, and I was going to draw the first thing that came to mind in each exercise. So even if it didn't make sense to me, even if I wanted to draw something else, like I've never drawn a lion before. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear my cat? That's Mochi. Mochi. She's talking like a Pokemon. Okay, so I had never drawn a lion before, so I was like, I don't want to draw a lion, but that was the challenge. I said to myself that I was gonna do whatever came to mind first. So I drew a lion, And then my instinct, again, just my gut instinct, what I was going to do was I was going to like be gentle with the lion and love the lion and like pet the lion, cuddle with it so that it would feel safe and I could like cross the forest safely without being like endangered by the lion. And I do feel like this was pretty revealing as well. It had to do with like conflict in relationships. Some people screamed at the lion, yelled, hit the lion, ran away, froze. I feel like in real life I would probably freeze if I was approached by a lion in a forest, but I think it was an interesting thought exercise for sure. And then on this next page, this was definitely my favorite. We were instructed to continue walking in the forest, and then there's a cave, and there are two monsters sitting in front of the cave. And again, very vague, like didn't describe the monsters or anything at all. What I initially saw were two gremlins. So I was like, okay. So I drew the gremlins. And then the question was, how are you going to get into the cave? So my first instinct was that I was going to put them in party dresses and party hats and convince them it was a party inside and that we should all go in. And I thought that was so creative and like, I don't know, I would never draw something like this in any other circumstance. And it was just like silly and whimsical and I just loved it. So I really liked this exercise just for this drawing even. But yes, again, this was like creative problem solving. How are you going to like navigate problems and like life's challenges, and can you be creative with solutions to things? And this was the most revealing of all, actually, I would say. Unfortunately, some of the other art I made in this book has like bled through, which I hate when that happens, but this page was addressing what was in the cave once we were inside. And immediately, you guys, like no hesitation, I immediately saw a baby and I was like, what the hell? Like, it cannot be a baby. And I was like, I was running through my mind, like, think of something else. Come on. Like, I don't want to draw a baby. And like, why would it be a baby? That's weird. But that's what came to mind. And I was like, no, Megan, like you told yourself you were going to draw whatever came to mind. So I put a pacifier to symbolize the baby. And then I put crying, and obviously you can see in the background, which I thought was funny, like, wah. Because you guys, I feel like inside the cave was my inner child. Like, I feel like it was like the inner baby in me that was, I still am grieving, but like hardcore grieving at the time, when I made this. And I think I just wanted to cry. Like inside, the little me wanted to just be allowed to cry. And I feel like this was, yeah, very telling of that. And I've been letting myself cry, and I feel like this has helped me like process things. And yeah, I don't know. I really liked these two in particular. I feel like they were very telling, and I liked the illustrative style that I chose. But that was the first exercise. So I would recommend this for sure. It was very interesting to see what your brain came up with. But yeah, moving on. I love, love, love this page. So on the left, we have 3 words. We were instructed to choose 3 feelings. So obviously I chose passion, and then we were also instructed to choose 3 colors that are associated with those feelings. So passion in pink, grief obviously in blue, and then hope in yellow are the colors that I went with. But I just like could not stop there because I love color, and I think the more you get to know me as an artist, the more you will see this. I could not help but put this rainbow oil pastel on. It's actually for face painting, but it's like all together, and then you like draw it like in one swipe. And I'd never used it before, and I really wanted to put it in there. And to me, I feel like that represents how through everything, I feel like I have maintained the color in my life, and I still want and actively seek color in my life. And like, I try to, I don't know, make just like joyful experiences and new experiences And I love color, like literally and metaphorically. So that was something important to me that I wanted to add. But yes, of course I had grief in the center with blue, because I do feel like that was like the heaviest, like deepest emotion I was feeling at the time. But passion, I feel like I am passionate about everything in life, literally always. So that's like a very consistent emotion I feel. And then hope. I would say I also typically feel hope for the future and the things that are coming in my life. And I really wanted to emphasize that to balance out the grief, because I know better things are coming and nothing is lost. It's all for my highest good. So that kind of ties into the second page. These were done on the same day, also 6 minutes for each one, which is so cool. I'm like, I made this in 6 minutes. I feel like it's like a complete, art piece, but you do it so quickly. And I think that's part of the magic, is like, you don't have time to think about what to make. And so, like I was talking about earlier, like your body just makes it. And it's so interesting just to see what comes to the surface. But on this side, we were instructed to choose 3 colors that we wanted to take with us into the future, and then do some kind of symbolism regarding what action we were going to take moving forward. So I had the pink and the yellow, because I still wanted to maintain that passion and hope for the future. But then I also included green, because I feel like green is just a very grounding color for me. And like in general, it's, seen as a very grounding color. But I wanted, here, I'm just brighten that so you can really see. I wanted to include that because at this time I was feeling more grounded each day, but I do feel like my body, my nervous system needed stability. And so it was very important for me to incorporate that green color. But then I was like, I gotta be real and I gotta incorporate all the feelings, because I knew even though I was moving forward into the future, this blue grief wasn't going to just disappear overnight. And the meaning that, again, I derived after I made this was that, see how it's kind of like radiating outward, like from my heart? I feel like that's exactly what was happening. It was like the grief was leaving my body. And I don't know, I just think it's so cool how that was like translated into art. I'm like, this makes sense to me. I'm like, it resonates. It's my lived experience, but like in art form. It's so crazy. And then I put this red sparkly heart. I cut this out of some stationery, but I cut this out because it's really important to me moving forward to protect my heart, but also to stay open and loving and not shut down or be bitter, or like resentful. I'm tired of feeling that way. And I just want to like let go of everything that didn't serve me from this experience that I was referencing when I made these pieces. I want to obviously take what I learned and like apply it moving forward and learn the lessons that I needed to learn through that. But I also don't want it to keep me heavy, and I don't want it to keep me stuck by any means. And I want to, protect my heart and keep it. And I don't know, just continue to carry that love that's inside of me. And then last thing, as you can tell, the rainbow like smudged when I had accidentally closed the book a little bit. And at first I got anxiety and I was like, oh my God, like I ruined it. But then I was like, you know what? I need to lean into this. And I was like really proud of myself because I'm a perfectionist, and any like messiness, like that does not agree with me. So I actually like put it on the edge of my hand and then purposefully like rubbed into the page to kind of get this like blurring of rainbow. And it created these little moments that are so cool. And I feel like it just like added so much depth to it because it's like a little messy, and that's okay. Like that is life. Life is messy sometimes. And I just like love how this piece came out, and especially like paired together. I feel like this is so powerful and like my favorite thing that I've made so far in art therapy. Okay, last pages. See, the perfectionist in me is like screaming, but it's okay. We will release it. This is a grounding hand. So we basically, each finger represents a sense. So we have hearing, smelling, seeing, touching, and tasting. So I was supposed to draw or write things that helped keep me grounded and that I could like do for myself to help ground me in times where I was like dysregulated or just like needed more support. So for here, I put the ocean, also raindrops. I love the sound of rain. And then music, I love to sing. And this purple represents like a sound bowl, like sound healing. I find that so calming and grounding. And then on the next finger, we have smell. So I love the smell of strawberries. That's like my favorite scent. And then I have vanilla perfume. That's what these yellow dots represent. And then pizza, Avi. And also flowers. I love the smell of flowers. You'll see that comes up later as well. But yeah, those are the favorite scents that I have. And then things that I like to see, I love reading books. So, and just looking at them, honestly. I do have a collection of books that I have not read yet. I have lots of books that I've read, but also lots that I haven't. I also, you'll see a common theme throughout my artwork. I love color. So I made sure to include the spectrum of color there. And then I also love coral. Like when I go to an aquarium, I am not there for the fish. I am there for the coral. And so I really like how those turned out. I put like different variety of coral. And then I also put a smiley face because I love people's smiley faces. And for touch, I put my cat, Mochi, who you heard earlier in the video. And then lip gloss, I love the feeling of lip gloss on my lips. I pretty much always have to have it. And then a water droplet, that's what that blue thing is. I just like the feeling of water. The pink represents satin sheets. I know that's not very clear, but that's what that means. And then same with the purple, that's actually supposed to represent lotion. And then again, a flower. I used to work in a flower shop, and I swear, like just touching the flower petals, I felt the healing, grounding energy of flowers. They absolutely carry an energy. And so I love arranging flowers, making floral arrangements is something I really like enjoy, and it brings me joy. So I made sure to include that. And then lastly, we have taste. That is a little ice cream pint. And then pumpkin. I love pumpkin ravioli and like other pumpkin flavored things. And then the green is supposed to be salsa verde. I love green salsa. And then, of course, coffee or like tea on the end. So those are all things that symbolize what grounds me in life. And I feel like that's so cool because it's like, yeah, obviously I knew I loved all those things, but like I'd never seen it like in one place and like documented like visually. Like, you know what I mean? Like you think about it, but you don't think about it that deeply. So it was cool to be like, oh, like, yeah, these are all the things I love. So I really liked that. And then last one over here, I have this abstract art piece where we were supposed to, again, use colors that we were feeling and then some type of symbol that we had like obtained throughout the coursework that we had done that far. So the rainbow was a consistent symbol for me because it represents like hope, optimism, like a peace and a love for the future. I just like the color and the hopefulness associated with rainbows. So I made sure to include that. And then the blue, I actually like dripped this watercolor onto the page and then took a hairdryer and moved it around, which was fun. Like I never do that. So that was a cool part of this process too. And then of course I had to add some like flower stickers just because I love flowers and I felt like that should be included in what I want to create moving forward. I said that was the last one and I lied. I have two more. This one on the left was obviously I was trying to get out the remaining feelings of rage that I had within my body from a recent experience that I had. I feel like this really encapsulated the energy. The red, obviously, for anger. The black, I feel like, encompasses that like dark, like feminine rage. And of course the chaotic scribbles, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, like the markings, like you can just read the energy here. It's chaotic. It's all over the place. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? This just does it for me. I'm like, yes, this is how I felt. And it felt so good too. Like, it's like cathartic just to scribble. Like, that in itself is healing. The motion of scribbling, the feeling of the pressure of the pen against the page, it does something. It's like it releases the energy so it's not pent up inside your body. And then over here, I promise this is the last one. This was an internal landscape. So we were to incorporate like elements of nature and then write any words or phrases that came up for us and like that would allude to why we included them in our artwork. So first I included a sun, and that is because I feel like through life, I've gotten to a place with myself that no matter what I experience, I have a light inside of me that never fades. And I really love that about myself. And so it was crucial to me to include a sun. And then, of course, there's the occasional rain cloud, but that's okay because it waters the flowers. Everything is for my highest good and my growth and development as a person. And I acknowledge that. So even when it rains, when hard times come, when tears are shed, it's helping grow new beautiful things. So that's what the flowers represent. And then I wanted to include wind because there's a lot of movement in my life right now, like a new job position. I have a new home in a new city. So just like, yeah, a lot of movement, a lot of things are happening quickly, which is pretty cool. It feels good to, after feeling stuck for a while, to have things like move really fast. I feel like that's always how it works. It's like a slingshot, like you're being pulled back, but then like it releases and you fly forward. And then of course, in the middle, always, we have our rainbow for hope, because you gotta keep the hope, you guys, through everything. You can't lose that. So yeah, these are my pages. Just a quick flip through again. I hope this was enjoyable and like inspired you to maybe look up an art video or an art therapy video yourself and like do an exercise. These were done through, what is her name? I think it's, oh no, what is her name? Lena? I don't know, you guys. I'll link her workshop. It's the Creative Soul Society, I believe is what it's called. Why can I not? Of course, just because I'm filming a video, like my brain has turned off. But yeah, she has a wonderful art community that like gathers weekly to make art. And then she also does these work therapy. Oh my gosh, can I speak? These art therapy workshops that I participated in. That's where I got these activities. But yeah, that is everything that I've made so far. I am gonna do a separate journal for, I signed up for like a 21-day series through her like membership that I want to do as like a separate series on YouTube. So that'll be done in a separate notebook that has better pages that are like more meant for mixed media, that'll hold the like the water without warping. See how like crooked it is, and then like obviously things are bleeding. I did not choose the best notebook for this, but it is truly about the process, and that's something I struggle with. I definitely am a destination girly, and I've learned that about myself, but I do feel like art therapy helps me enjoy the journey, and like it made me feel so peaceful to sit down and do these, because I feel like, especially as a perfectionist, and I know many artists can relate to this, like you sit down and like we want to make an art piece and you feel like it has to be perfect or sellable or complete, and like you have to spend however much time getting it perfect and all the details and yada yada yada. But
these are so freeing because it's like you have 6 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever, and you just do whatever comes to mind and you create for the sake of creating. And that's just like magical. Like I said, it's literally healing just to create, you guys. So if you take anything from this video, I hope you go and you sit and you open a book, or you don't even need a sketchbook. Literally pencil and paper, my friend, make something. Okay. I think I'm done talking. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. Please like and subscribe. I will obviously have more journaling and art therapy content to come. I believe that's what my page is going to be centered on. Definitely like a lot of art therapy, either progress videos or flip throughs, explanations, like maybe even my own like workshops. That's something I definitely am interested in for the future. But yeah, if you want to continue and follow along with my creative journey that will hopefully inspire your creative journey, please do. Okay. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a good day. Bye.